Very well said. Let me ask you about creating content, because you went to work for Steve Harvey. Yeah. You went in the writer's room.
Yes.
And a lot of people out there want to create content these days. Like you said, it's been democratized. Everybody is creating some type of content.
Absolutely.
You were in some of the top writers' rooms in the country. You spent 15 years in LA. What can you tell us about that process, what you learned? You created some incredible shows for Steve and built this whole empire for him. Tell us.
Well, the thing about it, Steve gave me my first writing opportunity on his first show, ABC's Me and the Boys. And after that show, I went to Robert Townsend's The Parenthood. And then I went to Arsenio Hall's ABC sitcom. Then I went to Tia and Tamara Mowry's Sister. And then I went to Jamie Foxx show. And then I went to Monique's show, The Parkers. And then in 2000, I started managing him. So I had built a resume before I started managing him, which allowed me to have a confidence level when it came to content, to have a vision when it came to saying, if we do it this way, you can achieve success. That's why when I managed him, I did all of his concert tours. All of his speaking engagements. I shot and directed all of his concerts, comedy concerts that went to DVD, Blu-ray, live feed. I did all that because of the fact that I understood that content control, content creative. So what do you hear now? Content's king. That's what everybody, but I always knew content was king. But I also knew that if you want to really make money, crossover. If you really want to be able to syndicate your brand, crossover. And that's what I did with his brand. And he was a willing participant to be able to say, let's do this.
Crossover, and what does that mean?
Crossover means that you're going from an urban market to a general market.
Right.
Okay, which means that if you're in syndication, you go from like 75%, 65% of your show being broadcast in the country to 99 to 100%. That's a major leap.
Right. And you're doing that right now. Stephen A. Smith, you said, was doing Oscars tonight. Yes. I know him from ESPN Plus, and he's having arguments with Joe Rogan about comments about Cowboy Cerrone, getting really relevant. And now he's doing Oscars.
Yes,
that's that brainchild of crossover, new audiences.
But you have to have a willing participant.
Right.
Stephen A. Smith. First of all, it's an individual that. He said when he was fired from ESPN that I was there for him. I supported him, I mentored him, I gave him options to keep his brand afloat. And I was just doing Rushion, and I tend to do that a lot.
What do you tell people when something like that happens? Like what, because he's looking up to you. I mean, they're in a difficult time.
I answer the phone.
Okay. And no one else is answering the phone.
Yes, I answer the phone, and I talk. And I have a rational reason to tell you, don't stop. Because I'm going to tell you something, man. Success is tied to hype. So you ride hype until you get a check. But see, that's why I always tell people, I don't know how much money you make and don't really care. You shouldn't care about how much money I'm making. You should care about how much money you can make. That's what hype is all about. So if I don't know how much money you're making, then if I show up in a car, I fly first class, then guess what? I am presenting myself as a successful person. So I always tell people who are struggling, don't stop the game. Embrace the game, but realize it's going to take effort and planning to go to the next level. So if you fall down, don't sit down and tell everybody. That's the key. Act like it's no big deal.